All right. Well, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be attempting a walkthrough of the Zork series, the original OG Zork series, 1 through 3. For the uninitiated, this was a software series of games in the very early days of personal computers. We're talking like the early 1980s. And you can even see the copyrights here on the screen here. And the very earliest versions of this were on like old mainframe computers back in the late 70s. And then this was then transformed into an actual consumer product in the early 80s, and they called it Zork. And it's basically a puzzle game, an adventure game where you kind of walk through like caves and hallways and things, and pick up things and fight things with swords and daggers and collect treasures. And you know, it was a fun game back in the day. Of course, I'm old now, but back in the day it was pretty cool. But it's been fun to revisit this. I found that they've put these games on the Internet Archive, as you see here, as fully playable games, free games. So it's awesome. And so I'm going to attempt to walk through all 3 games in one session in this recordable forum here. So I'm probably rambling at this point, but anyway, just to let you know what this is all about. And I'm going to start the game by clicking this button to start. It's pretty cool how they just download all the emulators and things that are needed to run it, and before you know it, you're ready to play. Now, this is not going to be a thorough walkthrough. It won't be explaining every step that I make. There are some times where I'll probably breeze through several rooms and not really explain what's going on, but I will try to explain the key points, the key factors in my decisions and what I'm trying to do, and if I get through puzzles and so on. The other thing I'm not going to explain is there's some areas in these three games, Zorks 1, 2, and 3, that have what are called mazes or other things where you need to walk through a series of rooms, and basically the only way to play those parts of the game is to make a map. And I have a map in front of me right now. In fact, the hardest mazes are in Zork 1, which we're about to start now. So just to let you know, I'm not really going to explain how I go through the map. If you want to know more about it, there's downloadable maps of these mazes online for all you Zork fans out there. So anyway, I'm going to get underway here and kind of walk through here. And again, I'll kind of explain my key explanations of things, but otherwise I'll just be kind of walking through it. So this explains the game. And you notice that you kind of had to be specific sometimes on what you say, what you want to drop or pick up or whatever, so it's a little bit picky sometimes. But that's probably a good thing. Now I'm up a tree and I found my first treasure. I say to get the egg. Now I'm behind the house, and here's where I find the entry to the actual house, by opening this window. I'm going to open the sack, to be explained more later. And I'm going to open the case. I'm not going to put the egg in there yet, and I'll kind of explain more about that later. I'm going to move the rug to find a trapdoor. Then I'm going to open the trapdoor. And notice I've got some things in here like a lamp, which I'm going to need now that it's in the dark here. So turn on the lamp. I'm going to go north, and now I found my first opponent, a troll. Okay, so that wasn't hard. Usually it's not. He's not too hard of an opponent to tackle. So right now at this point I'm going to drop the egg. I'm going to leave it here underground, and I'll explain more why I'm doing that later. And I'll drop the sword because I'm going to get this next treasure, a painting. I'm going to go north, and then I have to go up a narrow chimney, and I can only get up it with one item and the lamp. And that's what I just did. I'm going up to the attic. There's a couple other items in here that I'm going to get. I'm going to put my first treasure in the trophy case. and your score goes up as you put treasures in the case. That's kind of how you measure your progress in this particular game. You'll see your score going up. Right now I have 50. Now I have to open the trapdoor again. I'm going to get my sword once again. And let's see what I need to do next. Here's another treasure, but if I try to get it, it says like echoing things. So what if I say echo? That changed the acoustics, and now I can get it. Right, now I go southeast, or no, I think I want to get something else first. What do I need to get from this area? I'll just go southeast. And then here, and then one of the items I got from the attic was a rope, so I'm going to say tie rope to railing to go down. And now I found a torch. And since the torch provides light, I'm going to turn off my lamp to save the battery. I'm going to get the bell, but I'm not going to take it out of here. I'm just going to go one room south and then drop the bell here. No need to go here and then down to an Egyptian room. There's a coffin here, which looks like a treasure. So I'm going to try to get that, but my load is too heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it. I found another treasure inside. And now the thief's in the room. That's not a good sign. So I'm going to get out of here, go south, and now I'm going to get out of here by simply saying to pray at the altar. And now I'm back up above ground. Now I'm back in the house. And I'm going to put, what do I have? Although I'm going to put the bar in the case. All right, I'm going to drop, okay, I'm going to drop my weapons right now. I don't need them at the moment. I don't need my lamp either. In fact, yeah, I'll just keep the torch, but not the lamp. So now all I have is the scepter and the torch. Now if I keep going east from the house, I come to a canyon, I go down, then I go north, and there's a rainbow. And this is probably the most inscrutable puzzle in the game. If you look at the scepter, it says there's nothing special about it, but I think your original description of it says something about there's a rainbow color to it. So you're supposed to connect that to this rainbow, and then you're supposed to know to wave the scepter here. And that turns the rainbow to solid. Like a solid stairway, and then you get the gold at the end of the rainbow as your reward. Then you can go east and walk around the rainbow. Now you're on the other side. Now you can go north, north again. You find a shovel, and then you go northeast to a cave, and then you start to dig the sand. You do that 4 times, and you find another trigger. Southwest, south, south, west, west, southwest, up, west, west, west. Oh, I need to go north. Oh, and then now I'm north of the house. So I need to move the pile of leaves, by the way, just in case I wonder, because there's a grating here. I'm going to come out of this grating later from underground. But first I have to go south and get back in the house. Okay, now I can start to drop things off in the case. Let's see, tell you what, I'm going to drop the torch, or wait, no, not yet. I'm going to go east, up, and I like to put items in the attic that I don't need anymore, that I happen to still be carrying. So I'm going to drop the shovel, or drop the shovel here, and there'll be more things I'll be dropping later in there. So now I'm going to go back in the living room, I'm going to drop the torch, and then put everything else I'm holding in the case. All right, I'm going to get the torch again, and the lamp. And the reason I'm doing that is because sometimes you run into that thief like we heard earlier, or that we saw earlier. And sometimes he likes to steal things from you, and sometimes he steals your torch or whatever light source you have, and then you're out of luck. You noticed before when I went down, somebody slammed the trap door behind you, but now it didn't happen. Now I can go up and down at will. I think after you do it a few times, you get that key benefit. So the other thing you notice here, you remember the troll had an axe, and he dropped his axe when he died, and now the axe is gone. So the thief likes to steal things and move things around the cave underground, and he also took the egg, and that's going to be important later as well. Okay, so next I'm going to go north from here. There's a reservoir, and there's a dam, and there's things we can do here. Need to get this matchbook here. And I need to get two objects here, the wrench and the screwdriver. I don't need the tool chest or whatever that is, or no, the tube of toothpaste. Yeah, I don't need any of that other stuff. And you just find that through trial and error, what you don't and don't need. And then next, you need to press the yellow button that's in here. And again, through trial and error, you know which ones to press. And then now there's a green light that's glowing above this bolt. So now you can turn this bolt because the light's glowing. Turn the bolt with the wrench. And now that opens the dam, and that's going to drain the reservoir, so you can walk through it. Okay, so now I'm going to drop the wrench because I no longer need it. And I'm going to wait for the water levels to go down. Let me see what I'm holding. Okay, so I'm going to keep the screwdriver with me, matchbook of course, and my two light sources, and I'm just going to wait. Now it says I can cross the water, or where the water was, north of here, and I found another treasure when I did that. And I'm going to keep going. Here's another treasure, but my load's too heavy, so I got to go south, and go south again. Right, and I'm going to go down, and I'm at the base of the dam where there's still water flowing, and there's a pile of plastic here. And I have a feeling that I can use the pump to inflate the plastic and make it a boat. So I'm going to say inflate boat with pump. Okay, and I'm going to drop the pump. I don't need it anymore. Still says my load is too heavy. I'm going to see if I can drop anything. I better not, so I better just go south and get back to the trophy case so I can drop some things. I don't think I can get this coffin. Yes, my load's still too heavy, so I'm going to go down, pray again. Go east, south, southeast, and then back into the house. Okay, so I'm going to say put trunk in case, drop the screwdriver and matchbook. I don't need them right now. And then back down in the cave. Let me see if my trident's still there, and it is. Okay. I'm gonna go down again and see if I can grab that coffin. Still too heavy, huh? That's weird. Let me see. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna drop the trident. Now I can get it. Yeah, I still can't get the trident, so I'm going to get out of here and put the coffin in the trophy case so I don't have to worry about carrying such a heavy object anymore. Right. Now back in the cave. Right, now there's some things I can do with that boat here, so let me do that. So I'm not holding anything sharp, because if you are, it's going to puncture the boat, and you can't use it. So get in boat, then you launch it, then you wait in the boat, wait again, you go down the river, wait. Now there's a buoy in the water, so you grab that. Then you're going to go east to the east shore and land there. And get out. And go south. And now you're back on the rainbow. Now you're back in the house again. Okay, now I'm going to open the buoy, because of course that's what you normally do with the buoy, don't you? And get the emerald, which happens to be inside, and put it in the case. I'm going to drop the buoy in the attic, because that's another thing I don't need. Alright, so next I'm going to grab the screwdriver and the matchbook. And there's things I can do with that stuff. So now I'm going to go through the reservoir, and I'm going to go up from the Atlantis room, and now there's some caves that I'm going into. It's not really a maze, it's just a series of caves. There's a mirror room, go north. I think there's something you can do with a mirror, but I never really use it when I go through this, when I go through the game. Okay, now there's a slide room. And if you remember, there's a slide that comes into the cellar, which is below the living room of the house. And so that's a clue for you that you can use this to make a shortcut back to the cellar right below the house when you're done with whatever we're about to do here. So FYI, we'll use the slide here later. Oh, and I forgot one thing. I need something else here. So let me go back. I'm going to make use of this slide. Go down, then up. Now I'm back in the living room. Need to go east, and now I need something from here. I need the garlic. Okay, so go down and navigate my way back to those cave rooms that I was going through earlier. Let's see. Okay, I'm back at the slide room. Now north, now west, and now north. Now this is called the bat room, and the bat would normally kind of attack you, but if you have garlic, he won't. So I'm gonna get my treasure I found here. Now I'm going east, I guess. Yeah. Now this is a shaft room. This is important. Okay, so I'm gonna put the torch and the screwdriver in the basket. And that basket's going to have a use here in a minute. What else am I holding? I've got the treasure. I still have the garlic. I don't really need the garlic right now, so I'm going to drop the garlic here. I'll need it later, of course. Oh, and I don't really need the matchbook either. Not right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go north. All right, so the thief did just rob me, but I still have my lamp, which is very good. All right, so now I'm going down. I'm in something called the gas room. It's like there's coal gas in here, and if I had been carrying the torch, it would have blown me up because it would have caused an explosion. But anyway, I knew to only carry the lamp with me down here. Here's another treasure. Now I'm going east into the mine. And this is the first maze that we have to go through. And you notice this is one of those things where I told you the thief likes to steal things and then leave them around the underground, and that's what's here. He just randomly left the troll's axe here in one of the rooms in the mine. So again, I'm not going to explain how I'm getting through the maze. There's written maps of these mazes. You can find them online. So I'm going to go through the maze. Right. I found a ladder. I'm going to go down. Down again. Okay, I'm at the bottom. I go south. And I found a pile of coal. Okay. I'm going to need that. I need to take it back up through the maze, or through the mine, I guess you call it. Now I have to go back, and I have to use different directions to get back. Back in the gas room. And then I'm going to go up, I think. Yeah, and then west, or no, south. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put the coal in the basket. And by the way, if you remember from earlier, the thief stole the jade figurine that I had. It's one of the treasures, but I'm not worried because I'm going to fight the thief later and get my treasures back. So don't be concerned if things get stolen from you that you don't need right then. All right, so now these things are in the basket, and I'm going to lower the basket. And that's important because it's getting lowered to a different room further down in the mine. So that's important that you do that. And we're going to need the coal in that basket. All right, now back we go to the gas room, then into the coal mine again. Follow the same directions through it. To the ladder. Now we go west to a timber room. It turns out you don't use the timber for anything in this game. It turns out you actually use this in Zork 3. And it's really kind of hard to explain, but you'll see it when we get to Zork 3. Okay, now meanwhile, I want to go west, but there's a narrow passage to the west, and I can't fit through it with carrying any load. So let me see what I'm holding. So I'm going to drop all. Then I'm going to go west, empty-handed. And here I am, and now here's the room that I lowered the basket into from above. And here's all my things that was in the basket that I put in there. So it's a good thing I did that, because most importantly, so I can see with the torch. As I get all from the basket, go south, and now there's a machine room. And this gives you a clue that you need something like a screwdriver to operate it. So I'm going to open the lid, put the coal in there, close the lid, and then turn switch with screwdriver. So the machine came to life, it did something to the coal, open the lid, and it made it into a diamond. Let me see if I can just get it without typing the name, and I did. All right, now I'm going to drop the screwdriver. I don't need it anymore. Or you know what? Yeah, I'll take it with me. All right, so I'm going to go north, put all in basket. I'm going to go east to that narrow passage again. Get all but timber. Again, I don't need the timber in this game. North, go back up the ladder, and then back through the mine using the same map that I used before. Back to the gas room, up, south. Now I'm going to raise the basket, if I can spell it. Get all from basket. Get matchbook and garlic. So yeah, I don't think there's anything left here that I need. So, right, so we can now exit the mine. Right, so I'm going to go west, I think. The bat's still there, still holding his nose. South, east, south, and then down the slide. And just like that, we're back in the treasure room. Let's see what I'm holding. All right, so I'm going to put, I have 2 treasures, so I'll put diamond and bracelet in case. All right. Now I'm going to turn off the lamp again. I'm going to go back to the kitchen, go back in the attic, and I'm going to drop some things I don't need. In fact, I think I don't need most of this stuff, so drop all but torch and matchbook. Right. Because I don't think I don't think I need the lamp anymore. All right, so I'm gonna go down, and now here's where I get this stuff. Get the lunch and the bottle. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go down again and get that last treasure that's still by that altar. I think that's probably best, because otherwise the thief, sometimes when he takes treasures, he leaves them in random places, like I mentioned, so I should go retrieve that. I'm going to get the trident. Then I'm going to drop the matchbook, because it turns out I need to leave it here for later. So I'm going to pray to get out. Okay, so here I am again. So now I do need to get my weapons now, because it's time to fight the thief, and it turns out that you do better fighting him after you've gotten your score higher by getting these other treasures and things. So it's best to save the thief fight until near the end of the game. All right, so here we go. You fight the thief by going west from the control room into the other big maze in this game. In fact, this is the biggest maze in the game. Once again, there's maps online for this. I'm not going to explain my movements here, so we're just going to kind of go through. All right, so we find a skeleton here. There is one treasure I'd like to get here, but it says my load is too heavy, so I'll just get that later. It's fine. I do want to get the key, because I can probably use that later, but everything's too heavy, so I'm just going to move on. I'll come back to this. So I'm going to keep going through the maze. Now I find a Cyclops, if I can say it. So Mr. Cyclops does not look very friendly, but I have a way to deal with him. I'm going to give him food. And water. I almost typed and water. I'm just going to give him the bottle. All right, so now he went to sleep after he had a nice meal. So there you go. I'm going to go up, and it's time to face the thief, because this is his lair. So wish me luck. I'm going to start fighting him. And this is one reason I like to take two weapons with me. Sometimes one of them gets thrown off. Yay, I won the battle with the thief. So his knife slash stiletto is there. My knife is there. The jade figurine that he stole from the mine, it's there. And then the egg is there, the one that I left. And there's a reason that I left it, because it says now the egg has a golden clockwork canary in there. What it turns out, because I read kind of one of the solves of this game, is that the egg is a delicate piece of machinery, one of those things that is like a miniature device of some kind, a miniature clockwork kind of a device. And anyway, so only someone with delicate expertise can open it and deal with it. And who better than a thief to be able to open something like that and find a treasure inside? So he opened it for me, and now I have it open and ready to go. There's also a chalice here, so there's a bunch of stuff in here I can get. I'm going to get all, and of course my load's too heavy, especially since I just got done fighting. I can't take as much as I normally would, so I'll just go, and I'm going to try to return to where the skeleton was and try to get the stuff from there if I can carry it. So once again, going through the maze. I don't want to explain every move through the maze. There's other ways to show that. Okay, here's Mr. Skeleton. I'm going to try to get his bag. Yep, still too heavy. So I'm just going to go back to the troll room and then back up into the house. So let me get out of here. Troll room. And then back up into the house. Okay, so put trident in there. Right, now I don't need weapons anymore, so I'm going to put them all in the attic. All right. I'm back in the maze. Finally, I can get the bag and the key. I'm going to need that. Right, now I'm going to go back to the treasure room and see what else I can pick up. Alright, so even though it looks like a lot of stuff, there's actually only 3 items, and so I can take them all, which is great. Alright, so now I'm going to exit the treasure room, go northwest, and then use another way to get out of this maze, and that's by going up through that grating that I told you about. And I need the skeleton key to unlock that grating, so that's what I'm doing next. And now here's the grating. Unlock grating with key. Open grating, go up, and now here's the clearing with the pile of leaves, and I move the leaves to make it easier to get out. Okay, now south, south, southeast, and west, and I'm back in the house. Okay, so I'm going to start putting things in the case. And in fact, I'll tell you what, I can put pretty much everything in the case except for the torch. So, although actually no, I take that back. Of course, the key won't go, and then there's other things. So let me just put these in individually. Right, so I'm going to go here and go up, and I'm going to drop my key in here. Okay, so you notice I'm still carrying the egg and the canary, and there's a reason for that. So I'm going to go east, go north, north again, and go up into that tree where I first found the egg in the first place. And now there's a certain thing you need to do. I'm going to wind the canary. Okay, so a bird came, started to sing, and then this brass bubble dropped out of his mouth, because of course that's what happens when birds sing. So now I can pick up this additional treasure. Alright, so I'm going to put all this in the case except for the torch. Okay, so now there's only one more task to do underground. So down I go. Back to the altar. I'm going to get everything. It's here. Now I'm going down. There's a small opening if you look at the description of the room. Yep, small hole in the floor leads into darkness, so down I go. And down again. And now I'm at the entrance to Hades. Abandon every hope, all ye who enter here. Right, and so now there's things you can do here. I'm going to do them. And things happen when you ring the bell, then you light the candles, and then when you read from the book. Okay, so now I've, I guess you could say I've evacuated Hades. Now I'm in the land of the dead, where I find the last treasure, a skull, crystal skull to be specific. Oh, and then there's the bell that's still there. I'm going to wait for it to cool off. Takes a while. All right. Right. Back in the treasure room. And see, my treasures are definitely increasing in quantity. I guess that's the right word to say. Anyway, so I recall from playing this before, I think you had to have a total of 20 treasures to be done with the game. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 3 more. Let's see what I have, what I'm holding. And yes, I have everything that I need, and I'll explain that in a minute. So before I do anything, I'm going to go east, back in the attic, and I'm going to drop things. So I'm going to drop the candles, and the book, and the matchbook, and go down, go back to the treasure room, or the living room where the trophy case is, and revisit my possessions. And there's 3 things left in my possession. I'm going to put them all in the case. As it turns out, if you look at the torch, I think, if you look at it, I guess the first time you see it, it's like, you know, fancy. I guess it's sort of like a treasure. So I'm going to put it in there. I think it counts as a treasure, so put all in case. And there, this is a clue that you're about finished with the game. It says, almost an audible voice whispers in your ear, look to your treasures for the final secret. So I'm going to do a L for look. And it says, in the trophy case is an ancient parchment which appears to be a map. So get map, read map. And it says that this is a map of where we are with this house. And it says 3 paths leave the clearing containing the house, and there's a new one heading southwest that goes to a stone barrel, and that wasn't there before. So let's go find that. And keep in mind, I'm going outside. I don't need a torch to get around or to make my way around. So here we go. Now I'm west of the house where we started with the mailbox, and there's the secret path to the southwest. It says Stone Barrow, and I'm going to go west to enter it. And I'll let you read the ending. Right, so I made 350 out of 350 points. So this game's finished. And now I'm going to start the next game. Zork 2. Okay, here's Zork 2. It's starting. Let me see how much time has passed. Oh, 40 minutes. That's quite a long time, isn't it? So, right, so now here we are starting Zork 2, and here we are inside the same place that we just left at the end of Zork 1. It's basically the inside of a barrow or the entrance to a cave, that sort of thing. And we're starting the game like we're starting a new game, and we have the lamp and the sword from Zork 1. So I just say get all. I'm going to start to go south through these tunnels and things. Now I'm in a gazebo. I'm going to get the teapot because I need that first. And there's like a garden. Wow, the software code kind of got excited there, huh? Wow, I've never seen that before. Anyway, so the wizard took something from me. Let's see what he took. Oh, he took the sword. Don't necessarily need the sword. We'll see. Maybe I'll find it later. So I'm gonna go east or no west. And meanwhile, notice there's a unicorn in the garden, because of course there is. All right, I'm going into something called the carousel room. And it like turns you around and around, so you never know which room you're going to come out of. I'm going to get this square brick, because I'll need that later. And then I'm going to fill the teapot with water. Okay, now I'm going to try to go southeast because that's where I want to go. And sure enough, it took me to the right room. This is called the real room. What is tall as a house, round as a cup, and all the king's horses can't draw it up. Answer well. Okay, now I go east through the stone door. Now here's a treasure, but I'm going to get that later. I'm going to get in this this bucket, which looks suspiciously like it's the bottom of a well. And I'm going to pour the water to lift me up. Now I'm at the top of the well. Now there's these cakes which are fashioned on Alice in Wonderland. You have to know which cakes to take and which ones to eat and all that. So I'm going to start by eating the green one. Makes me small. Go east into a room with a pool of tears in it. And now I know to put the red cake in the pool. And that's going to dry it up. And I'm going to get a package of candy that was underwater. And I'm going to go west and then eat the blue cake to get big again. I'm going northwest to another room. And here there's a robot. The green piece of paper has instructions on how to command him, but I know how. I just made him go east. Now I'm going to follow him. I'm going to another room with him. Now I found a red sphere, which is an important part of the game. But when I do that, a cage drops on me. It must be like an anti-theft device. But now I have the robot in here to help me. So I'm going to ask him to do that. You know, I have one more command for the robot. You have to know which button for him to press. You can't press it yourself or you'll electrocute yourself. Okay, you hear a dull thump in the distance. That happens because something fell in the round room, whatever they call it, where it spins, but now it's not spinning because I turned it off. Sometimes this is finicky. It's hard to get back to the tea room, but now I'm in the tea room. I'm going to fill the teapot to get back down. The physics of that are a little bit tricky. I'm not really sure how that works, but that's how the game is written. So. Now I'm going to drop the teapot. So unlike Zork 1, there's no like one place that I like to just drop a bunch of things. I'm just dropping things as soon as I'm done with them. That usually works for me pretty well in this game. All right. So that's the thing that fell, that dented box, and there's a treasure inside. And you notice the carousel room isn't spinning anymore, so now I can control where I'm going. I'm going to put the string in the brick of clay. Then I'm going to drop it here. And I'll use that later because, as we find out, the brick of clay and the string are basically plastic explosives. And we'll use that later. Now here's a guarded room. I can't get in there because there's this lizard in the door, which is certainly unusual to find. But anyway, I'm going to drop some things here because this is the closest I get to where I'm going to use these treasures. Because unlike Zork I, in this game there's not a trophy case to put the treasures in, but there's a different way to use your treasures. So I'm going to drop them here. I'm going to say drop all but lamp, I guess. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Okay, so I found a dragon here. The thing is I need something to threaten him with. I'll see if I can find something, but in the meantime, I'm going to kind of explore a little bit more. The letter opener might work, so let me get all this stuff. Okay. All right. So you see the wizard appears sometimes randomly, and sometimes he takes things from you, or sometimes he casts spells on you. You just kind of be careful of him. He can be kind of annoying. All right, so I'm going to go up to this place here, and there's something you need to do here with this locked door. First I slide the placemat under the door. Then I open the lid for the keyhole. I'm going to put the letter opener in the keyhole. When I do, there's a faint noise from the other side, because what it turns out is there's a key that was sitting on the other side of the keyhole, other side of the door, and I just pushed it out with the letter opener. And now I'm going to get the opener, and now he's back, and he's trying to take things from me again. Let me see what he took this time. I don't see anything that he took, so anyway, hopefully nothing important. Now I'm going to get the mat, and a key just came under the door because it fell on the mat when I pushed it out on the other side, and because the mat was there, I was able to retrieve the key. So that's pretty nifty. So get the key, and now I'm going to unlock the door with key, open the door, go north, and now there's another sphere. This one's blue. I'm going to drop the key. I don't need it anymore. All right, so now I'm going to go down over here, and I'm going to see Mr. Dragon. I'm going to see if I can provoke him with the letter opener. I usually use my sword, but it's gone. I think I get it back later, maybe, but let's see if I can swing this at him. So swing opener at dragon. Yep, it may be working here. Okay, so now he's following me because I provoked him. I go west, and I'll let you read what happens. All right, so I dispatched the dragon. Now I go east, back to the dragon room, then back to his dragon's lair. And of course there's a princess in the lair. And there's also a treasure chest in here, so I'm going to try to open that. Meanwhile, I woke up the princess by doing that, and I found another treasure. But the princess is walking south, and she is glancing back at me like she wants me to follow, so I will. I'm going to keep following her. I'm going to go down, because I knew that's the way she was going to go. And she walked down to join me. I'm going to keep going south, and I'm going to wait for her. I like this. If you beat her to a room, she's surprised to see you. So I'll wait again. And she opens a secret passageway. So I'll follow her to the east. I'm going to go north. Once again, she's surprised to see me. And I'm going to enter the gazebo. And she joins me. And now I wait. And here comes the unicorn again. So I made the princess happy. She gave me a golden key and a rose, which is nice. All right. So I've done that. And I've got everything I need from those encounters. So I'm going to go south. And I'm going to return to the guarded room with a lizard in the door, which is once again a very strange thing to say that you're doing. Let me go back north. I'm going to drop the matchbook. Anything else I can drop here? Yeah, I can drop the opener, the paper, the rose. I don't need any of those things. Okay. I'm going to try to get everything that's here. Okay, very good. Now I can get in this door, and I'll show you how. First, you give the candy to the lizard, because of course that's what you do. And I put him to sleep. Okay, now I'm going to unlock the door with the new key that I got from the princess. Now I'm in the wizard's workshop. If I go south, I find his trophy room, but he's got a spell in the trophy case, so we can't use it. Oh, he's got my sword in there. I guess I can maybe get that later. All right, so I'm going west, and now I've got this triangular stand, which is unusual, but the coloring is what gives you a clue on what to do with it. So I'm going to start putting these spheres in the stands. So I'm going to put the blue sphere in the sapphire stand. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3, and I'm about to find the third one in the aquarium room. Now first I have to dispatch this sea serpent, and I need something to do that with. Let me think what to do. I know what to do to do this. Okay, I'll come back. So here's another maze, and there's a club in here. I'm going to use that. If you look at the club, it gives you a clue that it's like a baseball bat. So that's going to be useful to break things with, I'm sure. Let's see. How do I get out of here? Okay. I'm going to go back to where I was. Okay, now I'm going to throw the club at the glass. Okay, so the deal is if you just walk up to it and break the glass with the club or the sword, whatever you're holding, you're too close to the sea serpent and it'll bite you and probably kill you. But if you throw it from a distance, that's what happens as it describes here. He won't kill you. He dies first. And meanwhile, you find a crystal sphere in the aquarium. And then meanwhile, I'll go south to one more room that I haven't visited yet, the wizard's quarters. If you revisit it over and over, it changes, which is what would normally happen, I guess, if you're a wizard. All right, now I'm going to put the sphere, the clear one, in the diamond stand. And then as you read here, it converts the 3 spheres into 1 black one. Okay, so now that I've done that, now I'm going to go to the next room south, and this is the pentagram room, and this is going to be important. So I'm going to see what I'm carrying. So I'm going to say drop all but sphere and lamp. And sort of like Zork I, I make a count of how many treasures I have when I need to get them to the place that they're useful. And this is the place where they're useful. And you'll see why in a little bit. And it turns out I need 10 treasures in here. So I have some work to do to get there. So let me think about how to get the rest of the treasures. Okay, one thing I need to do is to use that plastic explosive and stuff that I told you about earlier. So that's what I'll do next. And one thing that you'll notice is that the wizard just noticed I'm carrying the black crystal. And that keeps him away from you. It keeps him from casting spells at you and interfering with you, which is great. So now I don't have to worry about him taking any more of my things and so on. All right. So now I'm back here. I'm going to get everything from here. I actually don't need the rows. Okay, I'm going to go north, down, and this is the ice room where the ice melted earlier when the dragon died. Now I'm going through the passage where the ice was, and it's called the lava room. And there's another treasure here, but I'm going to get that later. First, I'm going to go south to the bottom of a volcano. There's a basket here, and it turns out this is basically a hot air balloon. So I'm going to get in. I'm going to open the metal, what does it say here? Metal receptacle. And I'm going to put the paper in. It turns out that's where you light a fire to operate the hot air balloon. All right, now go ahead and read the label because I just have time to kill at this point. So that's how you fly the hot air balloon. Okay, so wait. I'm gonna go all the way to the top first. You notice the wizard once again appears and then flees quickly because I'm carrying the black crystal, so that's a good thing. All right, so I'm going to keep waiting. Now there's a viewing ledge. You actually can get to this viewing ledge on foot if you walk a little bit above the lava tube area. I just haven't seen it in this session, but trust me, you can get there. And this is when you're actually next to the ledge in midair. And it's too thin to land there, so I'm just going to keep waiting. And now I'm on the top ledge you can land on. So I'm going to say land. Now here's a key part of landing. You say tie the wire, which happens to be in the balloon, to the hook outside the balloon, and that's going to keep it from floating away. Now I'm going to get out, go south, and here's a dusty room. with a box with a hole in it. So, of course, if there's a hole in something and you want to blow it up, you say put the brick in the hole. Zippy, hush. All right. So, you want to go outside? Come on. All right, I had a dog that needed to go outside. All right, so now I'm going to blow this thing up. So I'm going to light a match. Now you have to be very specific on what you say here. You say light fuse or string with match. If you leave off the with match part, it'll have you pull the string out of the brick and then it won't work. Okay, and you go north, and then you hear an explosion. Go back south, and now you see things that happen after the explosion. You get the crown, which is another treasure, and the card. Go north, and of course you're wearing the crown. Why wouldn't you? Okay, now I'm going to get in the balloon again. Now I'm going to close the metal receptacle because I want it to go down. And now I'm going to untie the wire. And now I wait. And while I'm waiting, I might as well read the card. And it says, don't detonate explosives in here. So, but of course I did, so anyway. Now I'm going to drop the card and the label because I don't need them anymore. Let's see what I'm holding. Okay, so that's good. All right, so now I'm still in the balloon. I can't land yet. No, I'm by the small edge, so I'm going to land here. I'm going to tie the wire to the hook again. I'm going to get the gold Zork mid, which is another treasure. I'm going to go south to a library. And you can read all these books, but there's only two that I normally read. I'm going to read the white one. And this gives instructions on how to use a magic wand, which you'll need later. I'm going to read the purple one. And the main reason I'm reading this one is because there's a treasure inside. There's a little stamp. I guess treasures don't have to be big. I'm going to drop all books, go north, get in the basket, untie the wire, and then wait to get back to the ground level. And now I'm on the ground again. Now here's that treasure I passed by earlier. I get that. Go east, up, south, southwest, south, and then back to the place I'm wanting to deposit my treasures, which is here. Okay, so now we're up to 7 treasures in here. Okay, so let's see. All right. Yeah, that's 7. Okay. All right, so now we need to find the last 3 treasures. Okay, so to do that, we need to go north. I forgot that this gold statue was in here. That's one of the 3. Now I go west from the dragon room. There's a fresco room. Then we get to a bank. And there's a certain way to get treasures in here. A certain sequence of things, as well as a very unlikely thing to say in here. And I'll show you that in a second. So you go west to the safety depository, go south, and there's a chairman's office with a painting or a portrait. That's another treasure. There's only 1 more to get. And to get the last one, you go into the safety depository room. And you do that by entering a curtain. You're in a small room. It's like, I guess, inside the vault or whatever. But you need to know, and I think I only figured this out by reading a solution guide to this. So you go through south wall. All right, and you go through curtain again, or enter curtain again, and now you're in a different vault, and this time you have a treasure in here, some Zork mid builds. Now this time to get out of here, you go through the north wall, because of course you do. Okay, now you're back in the stage depository, and now you're going to drop everything, because if you don't drop everything, watch, if you try to go east, there's an alarm. So you drop everything but your lamp. Now you go east twice, and now you're like in the other side of the bank, and you kind of like made a circle, I guess, and you got back to where your treasures were. I'm going to say get all, and then enter curtain once again. Go south, and you're out. I don't know quite all the specifics for that, but anyway, I'm out. I'm going to go back to where I'm doing my treasure stuff. Okay, so here's where I have all my treasures. Again, there's 7 here, and I'm holding 3 more. And tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually drop my treasures here. Okay, I'm going to go north. I'm going to drop the stuff I don't need here. I think this is kind of my version of what I did in Zork 1. Let me read the brochure just to see what's on there. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, that was probably a clue there. When you walk through walls, that's what I did, basically. So I'm going to drop the brochure and the matchbook and the opener. So all I have is the black sphere and the lamp. I'm going to drop the lamp right here. I don't need it in the pentagram room. Right, so let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 treasures. I'm going to actually say get all to get as many as I can carry. Then I'm going to put the sphere in a circle. And this invokes a demon, as it does usually. And I'll just read that for a second. Okay, so he wants a pittance of wealth in order to grant me a wish. So I'm going to start giving him things. Meanwhile, the wizard has come, and he doesn't like what's going on. I'm going to get the last 2 treasures that I didn't give him, and give those to him. Okay, so very good. So I've done everything I need to for him to do me a service or grant me a wish. So here's what I'm going to ask him to do for me. Okay, so now the wand is mine. All right, so I'm going to go south and see if my sword is available, if I can get it. So open case. Okay, so I can't even get there, so it's fine. I don't need the sword. It's because I have his wand. That's even more powerful. Okay, so here's the things that I left. I still don't need them. Now I'm in the menhir room. Now if you look here, it says this min here, which is like a large block of stone, is blocking an opening southwest. But now I have a magic wand, and that letter F carved in the stone is a clue that I need to do something with it. So I'm going to say float, and it's floating. So now I'm going southwest into the opening, and of course there's a dog collar in here. Why wouldn't there be? Okay. Now south, excuse me, south, and then down back into that maze down here where I found that baseball bat club-looking thing earlier. So think about this. If you remember, it's it's like a baseball bat. So you need to treat this maze like you're going around a baseball diamond. So I'm going to go first southwest, southeast. You notice the glowing is getting brighter as I go. Then northeast, then northwest. Now it's glowing brightly, and then southwest. And now you hear a strange rusty squeal in the distance. That means that something has happened. Now you make one more move. I think you go either east or north. Okay. And now you have a secret tunnel or secret stairway going down. Now I'm in the room, which is the place where Cerberus lives, which is a three-headed dog. And good thing I have a dog collar that can fit him. So put collar on dog. All right, so now I'm going east past the dog into a crypt, open the door, go south, and now here's the crypt, and the flatheads are buried here apparently. There's only one exit through the way I came, so what do I do? I'm going to turn off my lamp. Now there's a faint outline of a door to the south, which is a secret door, so I'm going to open south door. I'm going to turn on my lamp, go south, and the game is over. I finished 400 out of 400 points and 397 moves, and I'll let you read that while I go let the dog in, the real dog. All right, so we're finished with Zork 2. And it says that you go down a staircase, which is the beginning of Zork 3. And I finished the game, once again, Master Adventure and all that. So now it's time to start Zork 3. How are we doing on time? I finished that one a little faster, so that's good. All right, starting Zork 3. That one's not working right. Let me try this again. Zork 3 Dungeon Master. Let's see if this will work this time. Okay. I don't see if it'll work. Okay, here we go. So now I'm at the bottom of the stair where I just ended the last game, the Zork 2 game. And here I am once again starting like I'm starting a brand new game with my lamp at my feet. So I get the lamp, go south, turn it on. I'm at a junction with my sword, but this time it's embedded in a rock like Excalibur. So I can't get it. If I try, it says I can't budge it, so I'll worry about that later. I'm going to go south to a lake. And I'm going to drop my possessions. And I'm going to say enter lake, because in fact if you say south, it says if you really want to enter the lake, just say so. So enter lake. Now I'm in a cold lake, icy waters, but you have to know to go down. There's something shiny in the sand, so get shiny. And that's your first treasure. You go up, and then you go west, and here's the western shore. You go south, there's a torch here. Then you touch this table, and it's a transport. And guess what? This is the timber room from Zork I. And there's the timber. So I'm going to get the timber. If I go east, I'm at the bottom of the ladder just like I had in Zork I, but then I'm transported back to where I was. I'm going to touch the table again. I'm back in the timber room. Let's see if I can go further. East and south, there's the pile of coal, but that's as far as I can get before I'm transported back. Kind of neat, kind of a little homage to Zork I. Okay, so then I'm going to touch the table again. Now I'm transported to a room in Zork II. And I do apologize, I forgot to show you this room in Zork II. It was on the west side of the carousel room, and you can only get to it once the carousel is stopped. So anyway, so of course you can't use this this spray can in Zork II, you have to use it in Zork III. So I'm going to get the can. If I try to go east, I'm repelled from the exit by a fierce wind. That means that this is, in this version of the game, the carousel room is spinning again, and you can't get out of this room while it's spinning. All right, touch the table again. Now I'm into a damp passage, which is in this game, in Zork III. So I'm going to drop all my possessions here. Again, it's like a transport. Okay, I'm going to wait. Now I'm back in the viewing room. And you don't want to touch the table when it's on the indicator when it says 4, because that takes you somewhere where you get basically you're subject to a human sacrifice if you go there. So don't do that. So enter lake again, go north, and now you're back to where your lamp is. You notice there's 2 sources of light here, just like in Zork I. It turns out I spent most of the game just using my torch. I don't have any reason not to. Okay, so there's a sword. It's still in the rock. I'll worry about that later. Okay, zippy hush. All right, so I'm going to say get all but torch. I'll use the torch later. I'm going to go here to this engravings room. I'm going to drop stuff here temporarily. Let's see what I have first. Okay, drop timber and amulet, because I need the lamp and I need the spray can. All right, so back to the lake. Now I'm going to turn off the lamp to save the battery again. I probably won't need to turn it back on again unless I just need to. Now I'm going to drop the lamp. I'm going to spray the can on myself. Now enter the lake, go south, south again into a black place, then go south again, and this time I hear these gurgling noises all around me. That means that the grue repellent is the only thing keeping me alive right now. Now I'm going east where there's a dim light. Now there's a key on the floor here, and I'm going to move this manhole cover, go down, then north a few times. Now I'm back to where the torch is, and that's why I left it there. Okay, now on to the next part. I go west a few times to this cliff, then down, and there's a chest here. I guess it's like a treasure chest. There's also a rope hanging down from a tree above, so I'm going to tie the rope to the tree, or to the chest. Okay, and I'm going to wait. And now there's a man up above you, and he pulls up the chest. So you might think to yourself, I guess there goes my treasure. But if you wait a little longer, your patience will be rewarded. So now you grab the rope, and he pulls you up. And even though he decides to take some treasure for himself, he does give you a staff, and you can even get the chest too, if you want it. You know, I'm not sure if we need it, but I'm going to get it. And also, there's some bread in the area. I think there's some bread next to the tree. and you'll need that bread later. Meanwhile, the man decided to make himself scarce, which is fine. We don't need to have him there anymore. I'm going to go down a couple of steps along the ledge, go south, and now I'm on the shore of an ocean. So now I'm going to close the chest, and I'm going to drop it here on the beach. I think a treasure chest should be on a beach, shouldn't it? So I'm going to leave it here. But first I'm going to wait around, because something's going to happen. And now here's a ship in the ocean. And what do you do when you see a ship? You say, of course, hello, sailor. And he threw something on the sand, so you say get, and it's a vial of something. And I'm going to drop the chest here now that I've gotten what I need here. I'm going to go east and then north, and then back to the beginning of the game where the sword is. Alright, so here we go. So now we're back in the engravings room where I left some stuff. There's also an old man who's here, and he's kind of asleep here. So I'm going to wake him up. And I'm going to give him the bread, because I'm sure he's hungry. And now he's pointing at a secret door that he's shown you, which was certainly nice of him. So open door, and I'm going to get the timber. I'm going to need to use that next. We go north, there's a button room, and then there's a beam room. I'm going to say block beam with timber. So that's how you use the timber from Zork 1. Alright, so now here we are back in the engravings room. And I'm thinking what else I need here. Can I drop anything? Yeah, I can drop the vial and the staff and the key. You go south, or no, west and then south, and east a couple of times, and then south a couple of times. And we're in kind of a royal hall, and there's a great door that there's probably something important behind that door. But if you try to go, east, it's rusted shut. So what do? You sit here and wait. So I'm going to look and see what I have in my possession. I just have a torch. That's all I have. So I'm going to wait some more. There's a great tremor from the earth all of a sudden, and to the right of the great door, a large cleft has opened up. And so guess what? You can go through that opening to the east. Now we're in a museum. Now there's things we can do in here. And you'll notice, by the way, as I'm going through this game, you remember the last games, like my high score or my total score was like 400 in one of the games, and it was 350 in the other one. Now my scores are really low. As it turns out, they're very, very economical with the score in Zork 3. By the time you finish the game, you get up to a score of 7. So, just so you know. Okay, so now I'm going to open the stone door in this room. I'm going to go east, and it's a jewel room, and there's treasures in here, but they're in a cage that's locked. And it turns out if you try to use that key that I got earlier, you can't use it. It won't fit the lock. So you have to do something else in here. So you go north, and look, there's machines in here in this thing called the technology room. And so here's one clue that you have to pick up here. So if you say get all, it says the black and the gray machine cannot even be moved, but the gold machine cannot be carried. It didn't say it can't be moved, so that's a clue. So if you say push gold machine south, it goes south. Then you push it again to the east, and it goes east with you into the jewel room. And that's where you need it, because we're going to go back in time, because it's actually a time machine, and we're going to go to when the treasures were put in here. And let's read the plaque and see when that was. Okay, so it was dedicated in 777, that's the year. So I'm going to dial the time machine to the year before, 776. I'm going to say get in the gold machine, turn dial to 776, and press button. Alright, so now I'm in this jewel room, and there's guards outside the room, but luckily I'm inside the room, so they can't see me. And I'm going to get the ring. It turns out that that's the only treasure you can get from here. And I'm going to wait. Okay, so it sounds like the guards marched away. So now I can open the door. Now I'm back in the museum entrance. Back in time, of course, but it's still the same entrance. I'm going to close the stone door so they don't know that I was in there. I'm trying to be secretive and all that. Now I'm going north, but the wooden door is closed. So open wooden door. Now here I am back where the time machine is. And I'm going to close the door behind me. So again, I'm being stealthy about me being in here. Now one more thing I'm going to do. I'm going to hide the ring. And I found out that I can hide it under the seat. In fact, I'm going to look at the seat. So you can't really see anything about it, but I found out you can actually hide things under it. So hide ring under seat. And I'm going to wait, because if you wait long enough, you're transported back to the present day. So I'm just going to sit here and wait, because I'm not holding anything. So there's no harm in me just sitting around waiting. Okay, so now I'm transported back to where I was. But what happened was I was transported to the room that I started in, which was the jewel room. I'm going to say, look, and it says there's only a bare pencil here. The treasures are gone. But my torch is here, so I'm going to get that. And I'm going to read this plaque. It explains that someone took the ring, and so they decided to put the remaining jewels somewhere else. So my stealthy move back in time worked. So I'm going to open the door, go west, open the wooden door, and go north. And here we are, the machine's back where it was, back to the present day, which is apparently the year 948. And now I'm going to look under the seat. And I found the ring and I put it on, so there you go. All right, so I'm going south again. And now there's something here called the Royal Puzzle. I'm going to read this note. It says the Royal Puzzle is quite dangerous. It's possible to become trapped. So I'm going to go west. There's another room in here, but there's no place to go. I can't open this metal door. It turns out you can open it from inside the puzzle, but there's no actual need to. So the best thing to do is not use that door. You can just get out of the puzzle on your own. Okay, so here I am at the puzzle. I've read the note. It says don't go down there. It's dangerous. So I'll go down anyway. And now I'm in a puzzle. I'm just in a plain room with just walls on every side. I try to go east, west, north, and south, and there's no way to go anywhere. What do? Well, you notice that some are marble and some are sandstone. So what if I push on the sandstone walls? Now look, I'm in a puzzle. I'll push the two walls that are sandstone. Okay, and now if I go back to where I was, it says there's a circular opening in the ceiling, but now I can move around this puzzle. And the display here actually shows a map of where you are, which is pretty cool. You know, considering it's a 1980 vintage game, it's a pretty good way to show that you're in like a maze or a puzzle type of deal. Okay, so you go south, and you notice that one of the walls has a ladder on it, so that'll be something that's going to be useful later. So here's a corner. It's got two marble walls, so that's a good place to maybe push other walls into to get them out of the way. Because that's what's going to happen here, is you want to push walls around, get them out of the way so you can go to certain places. So I'm going to start by pushing this wall south. And now I found a book in this depression. And that's kind of like another treasure in a way. I'm going to push the south wall again and again, and then when you reach a marble wall on the other side, you can't push it anymore. It just says the wall barely gives. I'm going to go north and go west again, and then south. And so, as it turns out, I want to push that wall, this sandstone wall to my right, I want to push it west two spaces into that little corner. So I'm going to push this west twice. So now it's in the corner. Now I go east and then south. And now here, look, there's a steel door. This is the other side of the steel door that I was just at. And if you put that magic book into this slot, you can actually get out this way. But it's better to actually solve the puzzle, so you don't have to cheat and get out the easy way. All right, so now we go north And here's a kind of a neat part of the puzzle. You're actually in the middle of nothingness here. There's no walls anywhere. If you go east now, you see some walls again. I'm going to go north a couple of times, and I know to push this one east. You go south. I also need to push this one east as well, because there's another corner I can push it into. So I'm going to go west, west, south, and push this one to the east. I'm going to go north, go east, northeast, and push this one to the west. Then southwest, northwest, northeast, and then push this one south until it stops moving. All right, so those walls are all kind of off in the corners and out of the way. And the steel door is still accessible if I need it, but I shouldn't need it. Okay, now I'm going up here. And one thing you notice, I'm going to go south, southwest, northwest, north. This wall has a ladder on the east wall. That's going to be important to get out of the puzzle. I'm going to push this one to the west. Okay. Let's see. East. Okay, I think I pushed the wrong one. Hold on. Let's see. South. Let me make sure I didn't mess something up here. Hold on. Okay, that's in the right position. There's the one with the wall with the ladder on it. Need to go south, southeast, northeast, north. That's the one I need to push west. Okay, now northwest. Push this one south. Hold on. I know what I did. Okay, hold on. Let me go southeast, southeast, southwest, north, north. West, north. Okay, here's where I started. I need to push this one back east. Yeah, because I need that one out of the way. Okay, I almost messed that up, but I'm good. All right, so southeast, northeast, north, west, north, west. Okay, we're going to push this south twice. So it still has a ladder on that side. If I go west, there's the other one with a ladder. I need to push that one north 3 times to get it to where it needs to be. Okay, so southeast, northeast. We push this one west twice until it stops. Southwest, and then push it north 3 times until it stops. West and north. So now I have a ladder in the place where there's the hole, so I can climb out of the puzzle. Right, I'm out of the puzzle, and I have the magic book. I'm wearing the ring, and I have my torch. So everything's good here. I'm going to go north to get out of this area. And now the sword is still in the rock, so that's my last thing that I need to do, my last task. But before I do that, I'm going to go northeast, or east and then northeast. Drop my book. I'll come back for that later. So I've just got my ring and my torch, so that should be fine. I'm going to go southwest. And now look, I'm in this place called the Land of Shadow, which was kind of near that ocean area and all that stuff. But now this hooded figure has appeared, and my sword has magically appeared in my hand. So that's how you get the sword out of the rock. You just find somebody to fight with it. So I'm going to say fight figure with sword. And this is another case where you need to fight them towards the end of the game rather than the beginning, or you have less chance of success. And I'm starting to fight him. He's wounded. His strength is fading. I'm having some bad luck here. I'm going to keep fighting him. Okay, now he's badly hurt and defenseless. You notice my score has now reached 7. That's a clue that I need to do something important here. So he's defenseless. I need to show him mercy. That's what you kind of need to understand about this. So I'm going to say get all. And I remove his hood first. And it says, you recoil in horror at the sight of your own face. It's kind of a unique thing to see when you're fighting somebody. And then once he disappears, then you get his cloak too. So now I'll put on his cloak and his hood. So that's good. Okay. And now I've got everything here I need. Just to get all. And you'll notice now that I'm wearing a cloak and a hood, I'm going to have a staff and an old book and a golden amulet, and I'm wearing a golden ring. I basically look like an old wizard almost. So that's good. Now I go north to finish the game. To do that, you press the button. Okay, now you go north. Go north again. Now there's a mirror in the hallway to the north of you, but the mirror is open. So you go north into the mirror, and you're inside this mirror thing. And it's like a complicated kind of mechanism that you're inside. I'll give you a moment to read this, but basically you have to figure out how to use this mechanism to get around or to get out. So what you do is you lift the short pole, then you press the yellow panel twice to rotate the mirror thing that you're inside. And meanwhile, the mirror swings shut. So you swing a word. Anyway, so that's not good. You need to know how to get out of here. So next I know to push the mahogany panel, and it actually moved it north into the next room, which is kind of cool. Next I know to push the yellow, or not the yellow, the pine panel, and that one swung open, and you go south to exit that one. Now you're back out, but since it's rotated, you can actually get around this mirror thing now by going either northeast or northwest. So now here I am, and there's statues just north of me, so I need to drink the vial to protect myself from the statues. So drink from vial, go north, keep going north, go north again, and you're at the entrance to a dungeon. And you knock on the door, and if you have a high enough score, you get into the dungeon. So knock on the door. And now you see the master of the dungeon, because of course you do. Now you go north, east, north, and north. And now you're at a parapet around a fire with this sundial looking thing. You had to figure out this kind of a puzzle. And so once you've done this enough times, you realize what you have to do. You have to first turn the dial to 4, press the button, then tell the master to wait here, then go south, and then open the cell door and go south. And if you've turned the dial to 4, then this opens or puts into place a bronze door inside this prison cell. And the bronze door is important. So next you tell the master, turn dial to 1 back to where it was, and then master, press button. Okay, so he did that, my door closed. The bronze door is also closed, but I have a key, so unlock bronze door with the key, and you open bronze door. I'm going to go south into the opening where the bronze door was. And I find the treasury of Zork. I'll let you read this for a second, because this is the end of this game. Many treasures. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of Zork 3. So again, this was a fun adventure game. And from what I understand, the people who wrote this game actually wrote it originally to be played all in one go, like I just did. But instead, they decided to break it up into Zork 1, 2, and 3. But I hope you enjoyed me playing through everything all in one go here. So if you have any questions, hit me up. My email address is kmcquarters@hotmail.com. All right. Well, again, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll play another game and do another walkthrough for you guys later. All right. Bye, guys.